Tomorrow will be 1st September 2018, and we will be marking a day that will go down in the annals of history, not only in Kenya, but well beyond. Because on the same day, exactly a year ago, in 2017, four very brave Kenyans, did the right thing. Now, I've always said on this channel, doing the right thing is not easy. But these four very brave Kenyans looked at the evidence before them, and they did something that has never, ever been done before on the continent of Africa. And indeed on the entire planet, had only been done twice before. They annulled the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, these are intelligent people, and obviously they knew there would be consequences. Obviously they knew that the decision they were about to make could even cost them their lives. But they still did it. Chief Justice David Maraga, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, Justice Smoking Charles Wanjala, Justice Isaac Lenaola. Those four Kenyans wrote their names down in the history books. Great patriots, great legal minds, names that will be forever remembered, long after we're all gone. You know, doing the right thing, doing something that will stand the test of time, is often a very lonely thing. And sometimes the consequences can be very serious. You can even lose your life. You know, sometime last year, shortly after the very brutal, gruesome murder of the former IEBC computer guru, Bwana Kshs Msando, my brother asked me the following question: is it worth it? And that question was pregnant with meaning. And I thought, of all the times I have money worries, I thought of all the precautions I have to take on a daily basis. I thought of all the times I have to look over my shoulder, worrying about my personal security. And to be honest, I experienced a moment of weakness. And I repeated the question to myself in my mind: is it really worth it? Now, I've never had the pleasure or the privilege of meeting any of these four great Kenyans, these four Supreme Court judges. Although I know one of the others who had a dissenting view. We went to the same primary school. I knew them very well when we were in high school. I know them. But these four great Kenyans I'm yet to meet. But I'm willing to bet you, because they're human, this same question must have crossed their minds. Was it really worth it? Well, let me answer the question on their behalf. For starters, that landmark decision on 1st September 2017 saved more Kenyan lives than we will ever know. You know, when you look back at things in retrospect, you're able to see a lot of things which there was no way you would have seen when the events were actually unfolding. Tensions were very high in the country, before this judgment was made, and this judgment played a huge role, in very, very dramatically reducing those tensions. Well, there's so many other reasons, to prove that they did the right thing. But maybe on a lighter note, but also on a serious note, they saved many of their relatives and their descendants, from wanting to change their names. You know, it is legally possible to change your name. And the reason why most people change their names is because they do not want to be associated to some of their ancestors. You know, even your own son and your own daughter can deny any knowledge of you, and they can even do it violently, the way Peter very violently denied any associations to Jesus. You can find a conversation that goes something like this: so you're John Museveni. Any relation to the former Ugandan dictator? And the young man replies, no, no way. And then somebody else says, no, but that nose, even your eyes, you really resemble that man. And the man gets violent. No, no, I have absolutely no relation, to that former dictator of Uganda. No way. And they can even start swearing, and cursing, their blood relative. Oh yes, it happens all the time. It happens when people fail to do the right thing. It happens when people do things that cannot stand the test of time. Anyway, I find it absolutely fascinating, that very close to the anniversary of that landmark decision, that issue has come up again. We have been forced to remember, even those of us who do not want to remember, we have been forced to remember, because Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, has produced an affidavit in court referring to that very incident and the repercussions and the consequences that followed, and apparently still follow, because she has said in the affidavit that her current problems, her current legal issues are linked to that landmark decision. In fact, the affidavit goes beyond that, and she says in plain English, Uhuru wants to remove me, from my position. Wah. Now we're going to analyze this a bit deeper, especially the consequences, political and otherwise, immediately after the very brief, important message coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back. Now, the saddest thing about this whole issue, is the fact that it has dealt a major blow, and some believe a fatal blow, to the fight against corruption and impunity. The perception amongst the Kenyan public is that this is irrefutable proof that actually this so-called fight against corruption and impunity is selective. And it is also political. Political in the sense that it aims to deal with some certain political enemies of the state. That is the perception of the public. And the perception of the public does not have to be factual. The fact that it's a perception is bad enough. And that's not all. Whether it's factual or not, there's one thing which Kenyans cannot get out of their minds. And that is the fact that the vehicle of Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu was sprayed with bullets. She was not in the car at the time, of course, but the perception amongst members of the public is that that particular incident was an assassination attempt. Why? Because of the role she played in the nullification of the presidential election last September. The truth is that actually it was a warning, a very effective warning that achieved its objective 100%. Because the objective was to stop the Deputy Chief Justice from making it to a very important Supreme Court sitting. And so what happened is that the Supreme Court did not have quorum, to be able to listen to a very critical, crucial matter that would easily have stopped the repeat election. Anyway, the issue here, the logical issue here, is why not find the people who fired those shots? Why not investigate and prosecute those people who actually fired the shots at the Deputy Chief Justice's car? Why don't you do that before you try and charge the Deputy Chief Justice for a crime? Because sincerely speaking, what would be a bigger crime? Firing shots into the car of the Deputy Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya? Or taking out a loan that ends up having criminal connotations? Which is the more serious? Again, you can argue legal technicalities and legal issues until the cows come home, but that will not change the perception of the public. The same public whose support to the fight against corruption and impunity is critical, especially because there are some very big fish, very powerful political figures that you want to bring down. Gosh, what was the DPP thinking prosecuting this case? Was he drunk with power? Had his success gone to his head? Being cheered on by the vast majority of Kenyans, some of whom were even calling him a hero. Was he just drunk with either of the two to make such a blunder? This is like getting drunk at the end of year party of your company, and then you hold the breasts of your boss's wife. You're trying to seduce your boss's wife. You have just been voted Employee of the Year for the company, and you're very excited, and you've gotten very drunk, and you've ended up doing the unthinkable, something that could cost you your job. And indeed, that is not a bad example to give, because mark my words, this is the kind of issue that could easily cost Nurdin Haji, the DPP, his job. Now I can hear somebody saying, Chris, don't get excited, Wana. The DPP is an appointee of the president. He has security of tenure. Yes, you're absolutely correct, but there's something you've forgotten. Parliament can remove the DPP in a flash, before you can even say the word DPP. And the current political environment is very ripe for something precisely like that to happen. You think the legislators have been happy? You think they've been comfortable with all these arrests that have been taking place? Many of which have included members of the August House? Do you think it's very difficult for them to gang up right across political party lines and remove him? And by the way, what political lines am I talking about? Because Parliament, my friends, Parliament has really changed. In case you haven't noticed, this is no longer a rubber stamp Parliament. Now, if you take in my latest Club 1999 very sensitive recording, you'll understand what has happened to make Parliament what it is today. But in a nutshell, there was a time the government would tell Parliament, this is what we want, and it would sail through very smoothly. Well, in case you haven't noticed, that has changed. The government has instructed Parliament, if I can just give you one quick example, to remove the caps on interest rates, because it's a condition of the International Monetary Fund. The government promised the IMF that we're going to remove this thing, and then the IMF said, okay, fine, we'll give you the money. So it is a condition which is already on a contract, if you can put it like that. What does Parliament do? Parliament says, no way. Hakuna, hiyo hatufanyi. Translation, there's no way we're doing that. And I can give you so many other examples of Parliament flexing its muscles. And so, what I've just told you is not far-fetched. Indeed, what is clearly shaping up here is that this small decision, or shall I call it a big decision? Anyway, this decision made by the DPP could end up having very huge consequences right across the Kenyan political landscape. And that is apart from bringing the very noble fight against corruption and impunity to a halt, which will be very, very sad, but unfortunately have more bad news, because some very respected analysts have said that this is not even a question of when and if it happens. Yeah, what they're saying is that it has already happened. Well, I can tell you there's one group of people who are very happy. Yeah, they've been very conspicuously quiet, but you can be sure they're very happy. They're dancing and celebrating and popping up the champagne. These, of course, are the supporters of Deputy President William Ruto, who have been telling us for a very long time that this fight against corruption is political. It is selective. They have been telling us it will go nowhere. And many Kenyans, including myself, have been rubbishing them, telling them no way, and fully supporting the fight against corruption and impunity. But now, as a result of the decision by the DPP, the very unfortunate decision, I have egg on my face. And many other Kenyans, who are still supporting the fight against corruption like I was, also have smelly eggs on their face. And the DP Ruto camp is in celebration mode. And it would seem to me, mambo bado. Translation, there's more to come. Much more bad news to come. Oh boy. Oh boy. God help Kenya. Until next time, this is Kshs, Kumekucha.